Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we are going to look at the ways that we can get an input or receive data from the users of our application. Many a time the apps that we are going to write will be required to get some information from the user, and in Python we use the input function to get or receive an input from the user. So let's look at the various ways that we can implement this input function. In case we want to ask the user for the name, all right, prompt the user to type in his or her name, we can do something like this: print, and then here we ask the user, what is your name? So down here, then we store the name in the input that we are going to ask. So this is it, and then we can print the name afterwards. So in the first line, we are just printing to the screen and asking the user, what is your name? This is really doing nothing. It's just asking the user, what is your name? And then the second line, we are actually getting the name of the user. So here, this will prompt the user to enter something, all right? And then the third line, you will just print the name of the user on the screen. So you can right click here and then run user input, the name of the file, or you can click here as we did in the previous video and run it. So if you run this, you are getting here, what is your name? All right. So if I type John, my name will be printed on the screen, John. It's as simple as that. By the way, I'm not called John. Okay, so let's look at another way that we can use the input function. Let's comment this one out. You can highlight this, and then if you're on Windows, then you can tap on right control and then / to comment this at once. So we can actually do something like this: prompt, this is just a variable, and then we store the message that we want to ask the user. So we can say, what is your name here? And then in the next line, we bring our name variable here, and then we ask the user input, and then we bring the prompt here. The same thing as we did above, just different ways of implementing it. And then in the third line, you do the same, print name. So if you run this, you are getting what is your name. So you can type our name Doe, and then Doe has been printed on the screen. So this is another way. This is just a matter of preference. And then lastly, we can also do this. Instead of writing 3 lines of code, we can actually strike it to 2, because the input function itself can take a string. All right, so if we bring the quotation mark here, we can actually ask, what is your name here? And then if we bring space here, we just print name, 2-liner code. All right, so if we run this, what is your name again? And then can type in Jane. Jane has been printed on the screen. So it's a matter of preference. Which one of these 3 do you like? Just choose. It's as simple as that. All right. So if you remember in the previous video, we defined some 2 variables, name and then age, and then we printed on the screen, hello name, you are age years old. We can do that by asking the user for the name and then the age without always defining it ourselves. All right, so if we define those 2 variables here, name equals input, then we ask the user, enter your name. And then the next line, we ask the user, age equals input. Okay, the next we can ask, how old are you, right? And then lastly, can you do this? You want to print hello, then you bring the name of the person, comma, you are age years old. You can pause the video and do this by yourself, and then later you check the answer. Do that now. I'm going on with the solution. So we can say print, and then we are going to use f string here. You can either use f string or the dot format as you saw in the previous video. So F, and then can either use double quotes or single quotes. Hello. Then we bring our placeholders, name, comma, you are age, years old. So let's run this and see what do you get. You are getting enter your name. I'm John. How old are you? Let's say I'm 20. Then we are getting hello John, you are 20 years old. As simple as that. Now let's use our knowledge with the input function and our knowledge in basic mathematics to calculate the area of a triangle. Alright, so we know that with the area of a triangle, we are going to need two things. That is the base and the height, because the area of a triangle is given by half base times height. So let me quickly give our calculator a title. Area of a triangle calculator. And then let's see what we have here. Times, let's say 70. Okay, so this will be our title. So we know that the area of a triangle is given by half base times height. So we need two things. We need to ask two things from the user. That is the base. We define that as our variable. Then inputs equals enter the base. Next line will be height. Inputs enter the height. Then lastly, we need to define the area, right? Area is equal to half base times height. So the half, we can make it as 0.5 because half is the same as 0.5 times base times height. All right. And then we need to print to the screen the area of the triangle is area. As simple as that. So let's run this and see if everything goes smoothly. Then we should get what we want. Run this. We are getting area of a triangle as a heading. Then our base, let's say our base is 5 centimeters. Then our height, let's say our height is 3. Oops. We are getting an error, type error. Can't multiply sequence by an int of type float. What does this mean? What we should know is that the input function, whatever that it gets, is a string. Alright? So this base that we are getting here is a string. This side that we are getting here is a string. And we are trying to multiply a string and a string by a float, which is not possible. So we have learned type conversion. What we need to do now is to convert the base and the height to either integers or float. But we know that area of a triangle or the base of a triangle and the height of a triangle can have decimal places. All right, so we need to convert this one to float. So we can just either convert it here or here. So you can either do this floats. You wrap the input function with the float function, or you can actually do this here, floats. So whichever one that you want, you take it. So you can do this one with this one too, or you can do this one with this one too. So let's stick to one and then you know what I'm talking about. Floats here, and then I'll remove this one. All right, so you can either convert the float here or you can convert it here. So we can run this now and see if our code is okay now. If we run this, base we said is 5 centimeters, then the height is 3. We are getting the area of the triangle is 7.5, but we are saying that, let's say our base and height are in centimeters. So we want our area of the triangle to be in centimeters squared. All right. So how can we do that? You can Google around and see how to convert or how to write centimeter square in Python, or we can just do this. You don't need to memorize it. You can Google around for all these things anytime that you want. All that you have to do is know what you are searching for. So we can do something like this: U or centimeter slash U, then 00, not 00, B2. So if we run this again, we are getting base 5, height 3, and then we are getting the area of the triangle is 7.5 centimeters square. So this is how basically we can use the input function. As we move along, we will be exploring it more. We are going to use it in programs that require us to get some data from the user. Bye bye for now. See you in the next video.